This is my new 2021 Sea-Doo Fish Pro in the blue. I got it this week and I've spent the last couple of days putting on the accessories. Because of COVID, why not? Do it myself, because there's nothing else to do. So I've seen videos to put on how to put on various accessories, and they've been very helpful. One of the accessories that I bought, I haven't seen a video for. I bought Ergolock knee pads for both units. The one for the 2-up Spark Tricks hasn't come in yet. There are videos on YouTube, very helpful, as to how to install those, but I didn't see one for installing the Ergolock knee pads on the Fish Pro. This is what they look like. It's a coated molded foam on one side. They come in either silver or black, depending on the color scheme that you chose. I got silver for obvious reasons. The back just has some 3M tape with a backing and these 2 nodules. And so there's going to be some drilling of some holes in the side knee space here to insert those nodules in. So that will what we will have to do. And they will go in something like this. Okay, so the first step is we're going to have to take off the seat. The Fish Pro has a seat, has 2 parts, and we'll have to take both of those parts off. The rear piece has 2 pins that you need to push in on either side, and then it just comes off. The front portion of the seat, there's a lever at the rear that you just pull off. And there's a little wedge that wedges into here in the front. So that's pretty easy to come off. Then what we're going to need to do is we're going to have to take out 2 T30, I think they're T30, I'll check that and correct it in the video, hex bolts. One is located here and one is located on the other side. I've already removed the one on the other side. And then up here there are, best thing I can describe them as bumper pins. I'm going to show you some tools and what they actually look like. There's 2 of them. You often find them on plastic parts around your wheel wells or your bumpers on your vehicles where they're attaching plastic to plastic or plastic to metal. Also on ATVs or snowmobiles, etc. So you need to take those 2 out. So this is the little plastic fastener, I call it a bumper fastener, that has to come out. I bought a package of these a while back because I was doing some repairs on my ATV. I think it was $12 or $15 for a couple hundred of them, and they're all different sizes. You basically have to get a screwdriver underneath it to pull it off. Now, a screwdriver will do the trick, but if you just spend $20,000 on a new machine and you're trying to do things, not to scratch things up, there are tools for this. This is one of the tools. It just basically goes in under the pin and it helps it pull it out so that you can get it out. It came with those rivets that I got. It also came with a whole bunch of other different size plastic tools, depending on what they look like. So I just pulled that out of the other side. And there it's come out. So now I just have to take the torque bits out. And again, you just use a torque tool, a ratchet, and so we've got the plastic pins out, and we've got the T30 torque bolt out. Now we just need to remove this panel. Now before I do that, I'm going to remove the rod holder and the cup holder, which are new, I believe, for 2021. It comes with 1 cup holder. I ordered a couple extra to go on either side and on the back on the cooler. Kind of a neat product. Now the directions on how to do this are actually on BRP's website under directions.brp. You go there, anytime you open a product, an accessory, they'll have a sheet and it'll have some yellow ink on it, and it'll direct you to the website. And then you just type in the 9-digit product code for that particular part or accessory, and it'll go right to it, to the instructions. And there's some graphics, and they're pretty simple, fairly easy to follow. There's a search function, so in this case, if you typed in Ergolock knee pads, it would direct you to the same thing, okay? So getting this panel off is a little bit tricky. They don't give you great directions, but they sort of talk about you need to get it up and then out. At this location, and this location, there are some, how can I call them? Almost plastic clips that are inserting into some holes into the black part. And as I say, you need to get them out of that in order to slide it out. So I'm going to see if I can do that in one motion. And there we go. So these are the points of the clips that I'm talking about, and they insert in the holes here, here, and here. And then what you're going to be doing is on this there are some holes, and that's where we're going to drill with a 5/8 drill bit, not a typical size drill bit. So I only have a 1/2 inch, so I'll use a 1/2 inch, and then I'll use some a cone drilling bit to get it the last bit of the way, to get it, because it just has to be big enough for that foam piece to go through. And you can see underneath here, if you have an older model Sea-Doo and you want to put these rod holders on, or the cup holders, in order to put this mount on, you probably follow this exact same process and drill those holes and put them on. So this is a pretty simple process. People may not want to spend $170 on some knee pads, but they certainly would like to get a cup holder or a rod holder. So I'm just going to clean this up. It was dusty on the other side. It's dusty here from the factory. So I'm going to clean that up, and then I'm going to drill out these holes. Okay, this is the rear part of the panel. If I zoom in, you can see that there's a round circle. I've put a black piece of marker in the center of it, and there's a second one over here. So those are the two spots where we have to drill through, and I only have a 1/2 inch actual drill bit, and it says to use a 5/8. So I'm going to use a step drill bit. I called it a cone bit, but it's a step drill bit, and each one of these steps is marked, stamped in. It's very small, very faint, but where the black is a 5/8. So as you can imagine, using a 1/2 inch drill bit to start off will probably end up with me losing control and drilling the hole in the wrong spot. So I'm going to start with a smaller drill bit, 3/16. And gradually increase the size of the hole so that I don't destroy it. So I've gotten the two holes initially drilled. This one is dead center. This one is off a little bit. So I'm going to use the step drill bit now to try and widen them out. But there's an outer ring around this hole, and I'm assuming that's at the size of the overall hole that it needs to be. So I will change up the drill and see if I can get those holes done. So the step drill bit was the way to go. I didn't even bother using the 1/2 inch to get the initial hole. I just used the 3/16 to start the hole, and then I used the step drill bit. And as you go through each of the intervals up to where that black line is, which I've just done for the purposes of this video. That's the 5/8, and it goes through the plastic quite well. I did not put the drill at high speed. I kept it about that amount of rotations, and that was enough. And it would appear that everything lined up. It went through it. The plastic sticks to everything with the static electricity, but I drilled this way, and then I just did a cleanup this way. And it appears that I've lined everything up, which is a miracle. I'm much more macro than micro, and so that appears to fit quite nicely. I'm gonna have to give it a good think about how I'm going to peel this back and get it on, because obviously once it sticks, it's going to stick. So I'll probably have to do it in sections, but I haven't quite figured that out. But the step drill bit is the way to go. It turned out the Canadian Tire had these on sale this week, so I was in luck. So yeah, so now I just need to do the other one. So with the first panel, I started with a 3/16 drill bit. For the second panel, I went down to an 1/8. And the reason for that is one of my holes last time was perfectly center. The second hole was not. The 3/16 came out of, there's an initial round circle, and then there's a larger circle. And the 1/8 drill bit fits perfectly in that circle and stays in that circle. So I'm just going to now go up a size, and then I'm going to go to the step bit. So my recommendation is start with an 1/8 inch drill bit. It seems to fit perfectly in there, and then go up from there. Okay, so I've got the two holes drilled on the right panel, or the starboard panel. I'm going to use some isopropyl alcohol to wipe it down, because that's what the instructions suggest, to get it nice and clean for the adhesive to stick. So that's good and dry now. So before I peel it, I'm just trying to figure out how it's best to put this thing on. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the entire thing off and line these two pieces up into the holes, and then push down on that side, and then move down to this side. So go like that sort of thing. And then I think I'm going to put a couple of clamps on these. So we'll go and do that now. I'm peeling the adhesive backing back, but it's really stiff. Like, it doesn't want to come off. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm not sure it's such a great thing. So I'm not sure what the story there is. Well, that wasn't easy. That wasn't easy at all. You can see how it really didn't want to come off in spots. And I don't know if it was too hot because it's been in the sun for a few minutes, or if it was too cold because it was below freezing last night out here in the garage. I don't know. But anyway, that wasn't easy to come off. And you really had to approach it. You had to cut the, you peel a part up, and then you'd have to cut a piece to kind of be able to go at it from another angle. So I'm hoping that I can get this teased out and that it'll adhere. So we'll see how that goes, but that looks like a globby mess. I put some clamps on this end because it was relatively thin. The newspaper is just there so it doesn't mar the foam. But anyway, it appears to have gone on, so we'll have to see. Hopefully the other one will come off easier. Okay, here I have the port side panel, so I'm going to do the exact same process. I'll wipe it down with the isopropyl alcohol, and then peel this back, and I'll show you once I have it peeled back to see if it came off any easier. This one's white. The port side was white, and the starboard side is blue. So hopefully this will come off easier. Okay, so where the other one was bad, this was horrible. It took me 15 minutes to get a nice cut to get this off, and you can see where the adhesive has completely pulled off of the underlying pad. Just terrible. So if I were buying this, I would take some still shots of from this video and take them with you on your phone when you go buy them, and open it up at the dealership and tell them that, you know, if it does this, you want to take it back, because it shouldn't do that. That's just stupid, because it's an easy install otherwise. So in any event, so my solution is, this stuff is fabulous. Super 77 3M multi-purpose spray adhesive. So I'm just going to put some masking tape, painter's tape around the edges, and give this a spray and let it sit for about 5 minutes and then put it on. So there's the port side one that I just did. I sprayed some of this 3M 77 spray on it. I took a little bit of masking tape and wrapped it around the edges, and then gave it a spray. Let it sit, tack up for a few minutes, and then put it on. It seems to adhere pretty good. We'll see. But I'm having a look at the other one, and it seems to have taken, so looks good. So I've reinstalled the starboard side Ergolock knee pad on the, I guess, a quarter panel, and reinstalled the cup holder and all, and the rod holder, the bumper pin, and the T30 torque screw. And yeah, it went together pretty good. I think that's going to adhere. If I was to do it again, I would probably put some of that 3M 77 spray adhesive on it, even if yours comes off clean. I noticed here the edge, it's not completely down. Now it doesn't have adhesive all the way to the end, but that's going to be a point where if it does start to peel off, that's where it'll come from. And it'd just be easier to do that now rather than trying to peel it back and tape it up and to re-adhere it. But that wouldn't be a tremendously difficult project if need be. So yeah, so I will I'll conclude the video there, because there's no need for you to see the other side. I'm going to let that sit up for a half hour or an hour and then put it on. So this is a project you could definitely do by yourself. It's very, very easy to take these two panels off, and the only difficult part is not the drilling. That's easy. If you follow the tip I gave you, it's better getting this adhesive off. What a pain. So I don't know what the story there is, if I just got one that's been in the warehouse for 3 years and it's all sticky, or what the story is. Anyway, thanks for watching.